All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Chris and Tiffany here with High Seas Cruising, and we just thought we'd throw an impromptu live, unplanned, on everything, but just a live video. And we are currently in Seattle, Washington. We want to talk a little bit about Seattle.
Yes.
This was our first time here. Never been here before. We've learned a couple of things already. We found some things we definitely like, some things we definitely didn't know, and there's actually just a couple little things that we're not real fond of. So let's start with what have you liked about it so far? You need to think about that for a minute.
Yeah.
All right. So while she's thinking about what she likes and doesn't like here in Seattle, I'll talk a little bit about our trip. So our trip getting here was super easy. We flew out yesterday morning, about a 4-hour air flight. The only thing really about the air flight is the entertainment system on the Delta airplane was not working. So didn't plan for it not to work. So it was kind of a bit of a boring flight, just kind of sitting there and couldn't watch anything, get on the internet, anything like that. But hey, you know what? We still were coming on a vacation. So it is what it is,
It
right?
was a great time to take a nap and
It
look out the
was.
window.
It was a great time to just simply take a nap and look out the window. Then we caught a cab from the Seattle airport over to our hotel. Someone had told us that taking a cab down over to downtown area was less expensive than taking an Uber. So we tried that. It was a little over $40
Yeah.
for a cab over into Pioneer Square. Now we are staying at the Citizen M Hotel in Pioneer Square and didn't know a whole lot about the hotel before we got it. And the hotel is unique. I'm going to give it that. The rooms are a little small.
Kind of reminds you of a dorm.
Kind of reminds you of a dorm. They have colored lights. Everything's electric. And we're going to have a video on the hotel when we talk about that and show you all of the different things about the hotel. It's not a bad hotel.
No.
Nothing wrong with the hotel other than the rooms are small. It's definitely a perfect solo cruiser hotel.
Yeah.
I think if you're cruising by yourself, it's perfect for being a solo cruiser. But I think if you're, two people in a room like Tiffany and I, it's a little bit tighter because the bed sits in a corner. So only one side of the bed you can get in and out of. And Tiffany sleeps on the side that's close to the wall. So she has to crawl in and over me, basically, to get in and out of the bed if I'm already there.
Chris is laughing because I've done a lot of walking on the bed.
Yeah, just to get from one side to the other. We're not sure how housekeeping does it without a whole bunch of struggling and straining because it's a king-size bed. And so I'm assuming that the housekeepers, they have to basically lay across the bed to get the sheets on and off.
Yes.
But I doubt we would ever stay here again simply because of this bed situation. But I'd say that's probably the only negative about the hotel.
Yeah, otherwise, it's a very secure hotel. You've got to use your key card to use the elevator. You got to use your key card to get in after I think it's 10 o'clock to even get in the front door.
Right. Besides using it to get into the room. So you got to, key card in 3 different spots to even get up to your room. Yeah, so it's very safe. It's secure. It's quiet. The ferry is right across the street. So if you're not familiar with the area, which we weren't, the ferries are right across the street over here behind us. The waterfront is over here to the side of us. And so there's quite a bit of traffic, but there is no noise. Now we're up on the 8th floor, and that probably helps out quite a bit too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'd say that's probably the only negative to the hotel. And then since then, yesterday we walked over to the Pike's Place Market. Now Tiffany loves that place because she's been back 3 times already.
Yes.
What'd you like about the market? Because I know that was one of the recommended places that we go visit also.
Just that it's a market. It's a big market. When I've visited, I have family in Montana, and when I've visited there, I love making sure that when I do go to Montana, I go during market days. It's just, we don't have that kind of market days where we live. With
they were throwing fish.
Fresh flowers, they're throwing fish, and they're going out and catching the fish, and it's right there. Fresh produce. We had the best pears yesterday from the fresh produce. Just
it was New Zealand pears, right?
Yeah, something like that. But just all the different foods you can try, the different cultures of stuff you can see and try. It just, we don't have that where we are,
Yeah.
So it just
But it's a popular place,
is
so
very popular.
there's gonna be people, and it's. I mean, granted, we were there Friday and Saturday, today, so it was definitely crowded. And I know Tiffany because that's also where the original Starbucks, if you're into coffee and Starbucks and all that, that is the very first original location is in the market. The line for that came out the building and went down the street, and we passed by it this morning. It was before 8 o'clock, and the line was already down the street. So the marketplace definitely a popular place. It's fun. There's lots to look at. I mean, it's many
Like 4 or 5 levels.
levels of it, and tons to look at in there. But yeah, do expect some people. Do expect a little bit of crowding in there. So
Randacita says good evening.
good evening. Welcome to our impromptu live. Said nothing was planned. We just throwing this out there.
Yes.
Figured it's good to get some of this out while it's fresh in our minds before we get on the ship tomorrow, because then we'll be focused on totally on something new.
Yes.
But we did go over today, and Norwegian cruise ship, the Norwegian Bliss is in port today. So I went over there to look at her, and it just so happens we could see mountains with snow off in the distance. That got me really excited for Alaska tomorrow.
Yes.
Just seeing the mountains and the snow gets you going. So, what else have you liked about Seattle so far?
You get coffee on every corner.
Yeah, there is a coffee place on every single corner, and it is green.
Very green, yes.
Very green. In southern part of Texas, you don't always get the green, especially when it gets hot in the summertime. You get a little more brown, then you get green.
Yes.
But everything is green here. So there's some good things about it.
And the weather was nice.
The weather's been
very
beautiful. Nice. Beautiful, Will. But there's a couple things we did not know about Seattle. I had no idea it had so many hills. I mean, hills like you would see, in San Francisco type videos. I've never been to San Francisco, but we've all seen San Francisco in the movies and pictures, and it's got all the hills. I had no idea that Seattle had hills like that. Mm-mm. And that's after you said, well, we can just walk from here to here. Look, it's not very far. It's only a mile. Yeah, a mile of hill. So that's made it a little more interesting. But yeah, honestly, we had no idea it was so hilly. So especially get over by the marketplace, the hills are steep, tons and tons of stairs, because you just got to get between the roads, First, Second, and Third Street over there. Yeah. It's a hike to get up those roads.
Yeah. You're out of breath by the time you get up there.
At my age, yes, you are. Yeah, by the time you get up to the top of that hill, you're a little bit out of breath.
Your legs are cramping.
Yeah. And our second didn't know, I guess, is, and I don't know if it's because it's the West Coast. I don't know if it's because it's Seattle, but there's kind of some price differences here than there is from us in Texas. Things are more expensive here. Restaurants are more expensive. Going to the convenience store and getting a drink is more expensive. Now, I don't know if, like I said, if that's because we're in downtown Seattle, or is that a West Coast thing, or maybe things are just more expensive. The area, when we're not sure. Like I said, our experience in this part of the country is, this is it. Very limited. It's the day and a half that we've been here. But we have noticed some price increases. So I guess that would be another tip, that if you're coming to Seattle for the very first time, just know that basic things, and it's not like you can run over to a close fast food restaurant or anything like that. We have found one fast food restaurant in the entire city so far.
Yeah, but we were talking to a local, and he said that they are very much trying to drive the big businesses out, and they really support mom and pop local shops. So I think that was another reason we didn't see it.
Right, which gives you a great variety, but do plan to spend a little bit of extra money. And we've learned that as well.
Yes.
And finally, I know all cities have issues. All cities have problems. So it's not a Seattle thing. But when you come from the country like we do, we don't live in a big city. Even back in Texas, we live in a more rural area. So we're not used to the panhandling population, the
homeless.
some people are home. Some of them are, I'm sorry, some of them are straight meth heads. Okay, they're out hopping down the street like chickens in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of, hey, can you spare some change? Hey, can you buy me some lunch? Even in the, the nicer areas of downtown. So I also be expecting of that if that's not something that you're used to.
Yeah.
It's not every corner. It's not every person. It's nothing like that, but it's way more than we are used to seeing. And so if you're like us, and just kind of be prepared for that sort of stuff as well. But Seattle's been beautiful. Today we went over to Seattle Center. We actually rode the monorail over there. We're figuring out the public transportation. So there's like two different sections. There's a section that's close over here where we are, that's underground. And then when you come over the Westlake area, you can go from underground to the actual monorail that takes you over to Seattle Center, which is where the Space Needle is. And that place is super pretty.
Yes.
I mean, lots of green, lots of parks, fountains. There was art sculptures, food. There were food trucks over there today because they were also having a festival. That place was real pretty. It had 74 acres, and we walked around that for a while.
Probably half the day.
Yeah.
Raymond, the drugs and thieves, why we stopped going out of Baltimore.
Yeah, and like I said, it's an every city problem. It's not just a Seattle problem. So I don't want to put a negative light on Seattle because I don't have a negative opinion of Seattle.
Yeah.
But it is something we saw and we were not used to and prepared for.
Mm-mm.
So I just want to make sure I'm not putting anything to anybody or any place down. No. It was unexpected for us.
And for the most part, they've all been really nice about it. We don't carry cash, and we tell them we don't carry cash, and they're like, "Thank you," and they go on their way. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's not been an issue, just something we're not.
Yeah. Now, when we were over at Seattle Center, if you like to go to attractions, if you like to go, because we went to the Pop Culture Museum, but the Pop Culture Museum was $40.50 each, $80 to get into Pop Culture Museum. If you wanted to ride up to the top of the Space Needle, that was a little over $50 each to ride up to there. And then there's the Glass Gardens and a couple other places. So if you like to go to attractions, you're going to be here for a couple of days, definitely look, just a recommendation, but look into the City Pass. You can get a City Pass. It's I want to say it's $111 for a City Pass, but you get 5 attractions on a City Pass. Well worth it, especially if you want to do just 2 or 3 of them. The City Pass will pay for itself.
Yeah.
We learned that. So we'll share all that information. So we did not go to the top of the Space Needle because I was not going to pay basically $100 to ride in an elevator and look out a window. I'm a little cheap that way. Just saying. No offense to anybody who does. Hey. But we did definitely go into the Pop Culture Museum. I had to go in there. I had to get my nerd on. Check out some science fiction, some fantasy, some animation.
Some horror.
Yeah, I made Tiffany go through the horror section. She wasn't happy about that one.
Just came from Baltimore to see the aquarium. I could tell that was the nicest part of town. It's a shame.
Yeah, there's the aquarium across the street. Yeah, we're pretty close to the aquarium.
You didn't miss much. I wasn't that impressed by the view from the Space Needle, says Connie. Yeah,
I mean, being from Texas, close to San Antonio, we have the Tower of Americas down there. And I've been to the top of Tower Americas. So you look around. But for 2 of us to go up there, I'm not sure $100. Now, keep in mind, you get 2 rides to the top for that. You get one during the day and one at night, so you can get a nighttime view. But that's still.
We weren't going to be there tonight, so it kind of defeated the purpose. And
well, that's still essentially $25 each to ride up to the elevator, and then come back and ride the elevator again and look out a window.
Yeah.
I personally, I can spend my money doing something else.
Lunch.
But oh yeah, food is said mom and pop restaurants are great. So many choices. I mean, we've seen everything from Greek to Mediterranean to Hungarian to you name it. We've seen it. There's an
Vietnamese.
option for it. Yeah, tons of options, but they're mom and pop places, which means they are a little bit more expensive. So just something to be prepared for.
Yeah.
And they don't like bags here either. Just FYI, too. If you go into a store and you buy a couple of drinks, they actually will charge you for a plastic bag if you don't have one. So if you got a backpack or something, take that with you if you're going to grab drinks for the ship or anything like that. Because yeah, they charge for bags in the store too. We learned that. I mean, it's only 15 cents, but
But a lot of places, I know California is that way. So
it's
a
part
lot
of
of
the
people.
joy and the fun of traveling is we learn new things and new stuff, and we're definitely learning new things and new stuff in this trip because we've
Yes.
never been west like this before.
No, I think the most west we've been is
Is Montana.
Montana.
Yeah, the furthest west we'd ever been prior to today was Montana. So this is something brand new and it's interesting.
Connie says she was impressed by the variety of fish in the restaurants.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of fish places, and in the fish market we saw there were some king crab legs that they had to been they were huge.
Yes. They were $75 a leg.
Well, yeah, but they were also about 3.5 foot, 4 foot long.
I bet they have a great fish market. Yes, they do. So fresh.
Fish everywhere. I mean, big fish. Big fish.
Bigger.
King salmon, bigger fish. King salmon, or some that I saw and said they were throwing the fish.
Yeah, they were throwing, just like you see in the movies.
Yeah, so they were throwing the fish around the fish market. I did catch it on video. So yeah, I got tons of video from just yesterday and today already that we'll be processing once we get home. I just really said this didn't want to forget any of the lessons I've learned here in Seattle in the last 2 days. And then we get home and do a cruise live and I forget all about the important stuff from here because especially, it's an Alaska cruise. A lot of people are going to come in the day before at least. And so it makes sense.
Yes.
That we got to explore and share everything with everybody.
Had a great time doing it.
Yeah, but man, we put on some miles. We've walked almost 10 miles today alone so far.
Yes. I'm showing 22,000 not miles, steps.
Yeah, 22,000 steps already. That's 8 and point something miles, and the day is not over.
No.
So we'll probably do a little bit more. Probably not going to do a whole lot more today. The time change yesterday, so we had to get up at 2:00 in the morning yesterday to get to the airport and board by 6 a.m. A 4-hour flight. Then it put us 2 hours back for the time change. So we've been thrown off a little bit. I'm not going to lie. It's thrown me off a little bit. Got my schedule. Kind of created a little bit of jet lag with that.
Yes.
That stuff in there. But I figure one more good sleep tonight. And then tomorrow we're going to be ready for the Discovery Princess.
Yes. Yes.
I'm ready for that. And of course, we will do an embarkation live tomorrow as well. Show everybody the view from the ship. Because we haven't been that far uptown yet. That's up at, I think, Pier 91. I think that's where Princess leaves.
I don't know.
I have to look. I know it's at the pier further up. It's not where we saw the Norwegian Bliss.
Yeah.
That's a 60 something, I think.
Okay, so we've got a ways to go then.
Right. Yeah, and that's why we are catching an Uber from here up to the pier in the morning.
Okay.
I've heard that's the best way to get from the hotel to the Princess Cruise dock is just to take an Uber up there. So, anything else about Seattle?
Not that I can think of. Definitely recommend the market though. Pike's Place Market.
Well, yeah, you've been there 4 times, 3 or 4 times already. She keeps making me take her back over there.
Yes.
So, yeah, you like that place. It's like walking up and down the hill for 4 hours.
Yes.
My calves are screaming. They're unhappy. No more market for me today. Next time you go, I'll wait for you here.
Okay.
Okay? So like I said, this is just going to be a quick one. This is just going to be a short one. We're not going to do anything super long. Like I said, we didn't even announce that we were going to be doing the live. I just wanted to share some fresh Seattle information that was in my mind with you guys. And then we'll have even more once we get back. Tomorrow we'll come on. We'll do an embarkation live tomorrow afternoon. Once we're on the ship, get in our room, put our stuff down, and then prior to sail away, we'll do a quick live tomorrow as well. Because like I said, once we're on top of the ship, I want to be able to show you guys just a view I could see from the pier where you could see the mountains and the snow right on the other side. So I want everybody to see that when we're mobile.
Yes.
Instead of the way we are right now. Because right now we're back in the hotel room, in our super little hotel room. Like I said, even the lights in the bathroom change color. It's kind of crazy.
Yes.
And I don't think I could do it on this one. Sometimes you could flip the camera and I could show everybody, but if anybody has any questions, suggestions, anything like that on Seattle, definitely let us know. Put it down in the comments on the replay, and we'll do our best to answer everything that we possibly can. So we've been here for 2 days, and that is our full extent experience in Seattle. So we have some knowledge, but we're definitely probably not Seattle experts. No. But we've walked all over this place pretty good.
Yes.
Pretty good.
At least this part.
Yeah. I know how to get to the monorail. I know how to ride the monorail.
Yes.
Well, we had to ride the monorail. Last time we rode a monorail was the one in Disney World.
Yes.
So yeah, an opportunity to ride. And the monorail was not super expensive. It was $7 each round trip.
Yeah.
So it took us and brought us back, and the pass is good all day long. And it's fast. And we never waited for a monorail. Both times we just walked on, sat down, off it went. So it runs, and it's not too far between the 2 points anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not like even if it just pulled out, you're going to be waiting all that long before you would see it again. So, all right. Like I said, just a quick one. So we're going to hop off of here, continue to enjoy our time in Seattle. Then we're going to get a little bit of rest, and then tomorrow will be embarkation day. Yay. I'm excited. Tiffany did find some saltwater taffy, though.
Yes. That's
kind of a big thing. She has her pre-cruise taffy. Oh, absolutely. We will enjoy, and we will have tons of video for everybody. We are very excited for Alaska. May not sound a whole lot like it right now, just because I'm so tired. This woman's been walking me across the planet today.
Yes. Or at least Seattle.
Yeah, across Seattle. Well, up and downhill, it might as well be the planet. But all right, everybody. Thank you, everybody who stopped by. Thank you, everybody, for jumping in. If you like today's live, enjoy the information, do me a favor and hit that like button. We got to see how many likes we can get on our lives. So just pop that one for me if you don't mind. And said we will see everybody again tomorrow. Y'all have a great day. And like always,
we'll see you out on the high seas.
Good night, everybody.